Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel and thank you so much for joining me here in my office. Now I know you usually find me in the lands between, but today I've got something a little special for you, something a little bit different. The channel's going in different directions. There's a lot of things that I really want to do with it. So first off, I got myself a brand new graphics card. That's right, this is the XFX Merc Black Edition RX 7900 XTX. I counted, that's 5 X's. Now I'm not sure if the graphics card is faster the more X's you have, but to hedge my bet, I just went ahead and got them in, as many X's as I could. So this guy is the new flagship from AMD as far as what they've got out available now. I was really excited to see it drop, and this is honestly the graphics card I've been looking for quite a while now. There's quite a bit that goes into it. I'm going to be doing a full review, but today I just wanted to do an unboxing, so I'm really excited, and yeah, let's just get into it. Now, before we can get the X5 thrown into our system, there are a couple of things that we need to do on the software side of things. So the first thing that we'll want to do is install a driver uninstaller. You can uninstall it directly from your operating system, but I really don't recommend it because it typically leaves registry entries behind, and there's folders and files that are just kind of hanging out there, and you can run into some pretty substantial driver issues if you don't just completely remove them. So what I recommend you do is go to guru3d.com, where you can download the DDU, or Display Driver Uninstaller. Now, this is the only place that I'm aware of that's approved for this particular download. So it's really important these days, especially when you're downloading freeware, to make sure that you're downloading it from an approved website. So guru3d.com, looking for the DDU driver, a Display Driver Uninstaller, is where you'll want to get it. Now, you'll want to make sure that you go to these download links here. So if you're in the US, either West or East Coast, and then of course there's the EU. Now there's all these random little like add downloads. These aren't the ones you want. These are the little guys right here that you want. So once you've got that downloaded, the next thing you're going to want to download is the Radeon software. Obviously we're going from an NVIDIA card to an AMD card, so we're going to want the appropriate drivers. So you can just go directly to AMD's website, go into drivers and support, and then it'll actually have you select which drivers you've got, or which graphics card you're installing. We can actually go back. See, we went into graphics, 7000 series, and then the XTX. So we submit, and it brings us here. You select your OS. I'm still running Windows 10 64-bit because I don't like Windows 11 yet. And you just download the most recent stable drivers. I went ahead with the 23.1.1. So once those have been downloaded, the first thing that you'll want to do is extract your DDU.zip and then run the executable. I already have run it, and it's already been installed, so I should be able to just, yep, there it is, until I kicked my mouse away. And just type in DDU. There we go. The executable will run it. So I am just launching it for display purposes. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to remove your workstation from any internet connection and then reboot into safe mode. Now, I'm not going to show that on camera, but I'm just going to kind of go through the basics of what I am going to be doing. So what you'll want to do is you'll want to select GPU from the dropdown, and it auto defaults to NVIDIA, but that's the one you're removing. And so once you've selected that, you're going to want to clean and shut down. Since we're swapping out new graphics cards, there's no reason for the OS to come back on and for Windows to try to install NVIDIA graphics card drivers. So we'll just clean and shut down. Once it is completed and shut down your PC, you can unplug everything and then swap out your graphics cards. So that's what we're going to do next, and I'll see you for the installation. I am so excited to get into this. Now, I did a spot of research as I was waiting for it to be delivered, and at first I thought the Merc actually stood for mercenary, so I was like, yeah, soldier of fortune, but it actually is short for Mercury. And so I was like, Mercury as in the hottest planet? Well, next to Venus, the closest one to the sun. That didn't make sense. And I was like, oh, maybe Roman gods. And I was like, Mercury was like the messenger god, and the one who transported, was like the god of merchants and thieves. And then I was like, wait a minute. And I was like, Aha! So it's actually Quicksilver, Mercury, so that makes a lot more sense. It was kind of a jump to make it there, but we got there. This guy here is, oh, upside down. So now this guy here is our XFX 7900 XTX. I'm just gonna call it 5X for the rest of the episode so I don't mumble over my words. So inside the box we've got our little care package, our little installation and care guide. We'll be using that. And I believe it does come with its own bracket. I've got a separate bracket that's RGB. It's a great Cooler Master one that's I've been using ever since the previous one. I had a 6900 XTX Merc Edition as well for a little while, and I really liked the card, but I wanted to get more into rendering, so I jumped back over to Team Green. But I'm really excited to be here, and then we get into this one step closer. Looks to just be, oh, the QR code. Cool. And finally we have it. Here is our, oh wow, that's a proper thick bracket. So, but finally, the main event we have, if I can get it out, the XFX. Oh my gosh, this thing is heavy. It is definitely heavier, a little bit longer than its previous generation. This one's coming in at about, what is it, 4 pounds, 11 ounces, roughly. And just talking dimensions, if I can get into this guy. Oh, so excited. This, oh my gosh, it is beautiful. It is stunning. I really like the sleek black aesthetic of it. And it looks like once we peel the plastic off the back here, ooh, well that's nice. That is such a, ooh, no, we're tearing. It's such a satisfying sound, that first peel away. And it looks like the back plate is ribbed, for your pleasure. And wow, this guy is beefy. It's coming in at about 344, I think, millimeters long. And we're looking at about 128 millimeters tall as far as from here to here, including the PCIe port. And then thickness, we're looking at about 57 millimeters. So this, this actually gives some of the 4090s and 4080s a run for their money as far as like overall size. It comes in at about a 3, just over a 3 slot card. So this is a biggin. And is there anything else worthwhile? Oh, so we've got the extender screws, and that's it. So the 7900 XTX, we'll go ahead and sit here front and center. Hello, beautiful. So for the 7900 XTX, I'm not sure how familiar you are with the specs, but just like a quick rundown, it's 96 compute units, 6,144 stream processors, 24 gigabytes of GDDR6 memory running on a 384-bit bus. Now, it's a substantial upgrade over the 6900, and the refresh that they did was the 6950 XT, or X. Is it XT or X? I'll sort it out. But the primary differences that you're looking at between this particular aftermarket card and the reference cards is, so this one comes out of the box overclocked. Its base clock, so the reference base clock is 2300 megahertz. The base clock on this guy is 2455. So you're looking at about 150, 155 megahertz bump on base clock, and roughly, I think it's like 2600, 2615 for the boost. Now, this guy, one of the other things, it's gonna be difficult to see, but there's actually a dual BIOS right there. So if you flick the BIOS switch over toward the power connectors, that just basically unlocks the card. So if you're gonna be overclocking, which I'm really looking forward to doing, is a good overclock test on these guys, because I heard if the silicon's good, you can get up to 3 gigahertz, so I'm really excited to give that a go. So that will unlock all power, and then you're looking at just like, if you weren't to touch any of the settings after flicking that switch, you'd be at about 2510 megahertz base clock, and roughly 2700, a little bit lower, I think it's 2680 megahertz boost. So yeah, you can just throw it in there, but power draw is substantially higher for this guy. So the potential, so the reference card actually has 2 8-pin power connectors, whereas this has 3. So if we're looking at all 3 of those, 150 each plus what you can pull from your motherboard, you're looking at around 525 total watts you can pull. The manufacturer XFX actually recommends an 850 watt power supply, whereas the reference only says that you ought to have an 800 watt power supply. So this is going to draw a lot more, has the potential to draw a lot more power, especially with the rage mode, or whatever you want to call it, the all-in mode BIOS running. So yeah, I am excited to see it, but I mean, the nice thing about these cards, from what I've read, is they undervolt really well. So I'm looking forward to doing a really good undervolting, really good overclocking, and seeing what performance we've got going on there. I've already done a full benchmark suite with my RTX 3080 Ti, and I'm going to be doing the same tests on this, so I'm going to be doing a full comprehensive review in the next video. But this is just basically an unboxing. Let's take a look at this beautiful beast. Let's get it thrown into my system. But yeah, that's the XFX Radeon RX 7900 XTX, the X5 I'll call it, if I can remember to. But I am so excited to get into the system. I'm so excited to get gaming on this, and yeah, thanks so much, and yeah, let's get it in the rig. All right, and we have successfully uninstalled the old NVIDIA drivers. I went ahead and disconnected the power cable as well as all peripheral connections. So we've just got my case system here, the old NVIDIA RTX 3080 Ti. It's the last of a kind. I'm gonna miss EVGA, seriously. They are hands down one of my favorite NVIDIA board partners, so really sad to see those guys go. Maybe they'll come back around to it, who knows, but out with the old and with the new. We're really fortunate here in that we still have, this one also took 3 8-pin power connectors, so it'll be a simple, easy swap for us there. So we're gonna remove these power connections. 1, 2, 3. And then we need to simply unscrew. All right. And I believe the only other connections that we have here, that's for my mounting bracket. So we're good to get this removed. All right, and pop. And here we are. Oh my gosh, I forgot how beefy for the Win 3 3080 Ti was. Oh my gosh, if we look at these guys side by side, wow, that's bonkers. I mean, this one's longer, but this one's thicker, you know, whatever your preference is. But wow, 2 beefy cards. I honestly say that the XFX is heavier than the 2. This is, I thought this was a chunker. All right, and now to get the new guy in here. Come here, you big, beautiful beast. All right, so it should fit in the same slot as before. We may have to move the bracket up just a touch, but for the installation purposes of just getting the card in there, we'll just line up. Oh, the other thing you need to take off is a little plastic card. So then we line up our PCI Express lane with our, and it should just pop right in. Hey, and there's the pop. Okay, and actually this guy, oh, I can scoot up right here. Perfect. So we'll go ahead and make sure our screws line up okay first. Perfect. And that should take a lot of the wiggle out of it. But for the base here, so we're not sagging too much, I've got this bracket here that I'm gonna line up, and it's adjustable and tightens, which I really, really appreciate. So that way, when we get it with gravity pushing it down this way, why can't I think of the right word? When we get it upright and the GPU is sitting against the bracket, it should provide enough support because it is braced by 3 case screws here. So it's good and stable. It's housed 3 or 4 GPUs now, so and I haven't had any trouble with the board after that. So yeah, we'll go ahead and get the power connectors plugged back in. I'm gonna have to turn this EVGA around the other way. 3. All right, all 8 pins connected. We'll go ahead and do some swapping around here. We'll just have to go with, oh, everything's EVGA. My power supply is EVGA. I love EVGA. But anyway, so we've got all 3 power connectors in. We've got minimal saggage here thanks to the bracket, and we're ready to get this plugged in, ready to get gaming on it. All right, and just like that, it's installed. It was actually a really painless process. I got everything plugged back in, I powered on my machine, Windows immediately recognized it after we posted past the BIOS, and I just immediately ran the AMD driver install as well as the AMD Radeon software that comes along with it. And yeah, one reboot and I'm off and running. It automatically detected my previous settings. One of the things that I noticed as well that was really cool was it automatically picked up all the games I had installed. I think I'll probably have to manually configure them, much like I did with GeForce Experience for recording purposes, but otherwise, yeah, I'm really excited. The other thing that I noticed, just at a cursory glance before I got recording again, was we go into tuning, it automatically picked up a lot of my configuration. So it knows that my CPU is overclocked. It's got it recognized there. Tuning control is set to default. I haven't touched that, but it also recognized that Smart Access Memory, or resizable bar, was already enabled. So I didn't have to go through the process of re-enabling that. So that's really, really exciting. I am very, very pumped to have this installed and get to benchmarking on it. I'm going to immediately get into some tuning and some benchmarking, and I'm going to have a full review with performance deltas between the 3080 Ti and the 7900 XTX, or the 5X that I like to call it now. And as soon as we have those, I'm going to get that pushed out. I'd like to have it to you within a week. We'll see what I can do. This is something that I had a lot of fun doing. I really enjoyed throwing this video together. I really enjoyed the installation. So if this is something that you'd like to see more of, let me know. Just go ahead and leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and just drop a comment below. Let me know this is something that you guys would like to see more of. If not, let me know as well. I still plan on doing video game reviews as well as Let's Plays. Those are my primary focus, but as I said before, like, video games are my passion, and hardware, software, all of it that rolls into it is just, it's my passion. So I'm really excited to do more videos like this, to get the reviews and get some news out there. So yeah, thank you again for taking the time to watch this video. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments, but otherwise you guys have a fantastic day, and I'll see you in the next one.